Y'all doing? How y'all doing out there? Get this thing going on today. I ain't gonna be on that long. I got. I thought I'd come on for a little time. See what we got. We gonna just get right to it. It is April 1st. You know what it is. Let's see what I got. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. See what I got. We're gonna be here for a minute. So everybody's doing today. What's going on? Good to see you. How you doing? I said I might come today. Just thought I'd come on in here. Yeah, I said I was gonna come on today. I wanted to get like do this for a little while. Um, put the ad out. Bear with me because I'm gonna put this on my other link. I'm still here. Just had to go. I'm pushing this thing out because I'm trying to promote this thing today. Getting everything going today. So we're gonna I think the last question you asked yesterday, if my memory serves me right, we were talking about food, drink, and we were talking about uh Calvin Jackson liked a lot of the stuff that you like, and y'all were co-signing it. And then we got into talking about music and movies and TV. It was a wide range of topics, but it was because of the food and the drink that's why he liked you because you were talking about pork and stuff like that. And I remember because I was out the mix. And of course, me being who I am, the eyeball with stuff. So, hello, how are you? Okay, but I think there was something before that. I can't remember. Well, it was food, drinks. We were talking about mental health. We were talking about do you get over loss, things that still matter with you. And he admitted that he still has things. I admit I still got things. So we were on a very deep tangent. I remember. And there's a lot going on. A lot going on. Yes, thank you, Summer, for coming through. Feel free to talk and let's conversate. I got about a good. Hello, how you doing? I got a good hour, probably. I think I do. Yeah, I'll be here for an hour. We'll do an hour today. It's a great day out. I've been out walking too, so gonna get some more fresh air. I gotta go to a church. Not a church. It's a house setting conversation. Get together. Church. Anyway, some routine I'm gonna do. None of them. Oh, one of them. Um, Billy Davis and Marilyn McCoo. To answer your question, because they timeless. They feel like a family couple too. They feel like somebody I've known. Well, because the Fifth Dimension. Hmm. Billy Davis Jr., Marilyn McCoo. Hmm. One of the few that I can say that about. Um, they broke up because she didn't get the memo. Who were you talking about? I don't know who you are, so and you gotta introduce yourself. And please, it seems like a troll. I'm doing all right. How are you? I like it when people ask me how I'm doing first. I don't know what that means. No, I already said that. I think that Billy Davis Jr. and Mary McCoo. They've been married forever and a day. Valerie and Nick. Nick is deceased. I heard you first time to play Doe Master. I'm doing okay. How are you? Okay, that sounds like a troll. Maybe hit the wrong one. People be sound like they trolling. I gotta get them up out of here. Okay, we're gonna see who's real. But some of them, if you keep sending repeated messages, anyway, feel free to comment while we're live. I felt so good today. I wanted to do a live stream, so here we are. Feel free. Mhm. Mhm. Let's see. Real, I would say when they were no, because Sean Penn used to beat her up all the time, so that's not real. No, Bob and Whitney were destructive. That's not real. I mentioned who I mentioned. I said Billy Davis Jr., Marilyn McCool. Most of those situations in Hollywood is pretty destructive. Well, you asked. Yeah, Madonna and Sean Penn were vital. She got into a bad fight with him. Used to beat up on her. In fact, I got a story with Prince and her were real cool, and he helped her do housework. It was crazy back in '85. Bobby Whitney were volatile. If you know anything about Robin Crawford, then you already know why that was volatile. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Sean Penn and Madonna, no. It didn't end well. Bobby and Whitney, maybe if Robin Crawford wasn't such a strong hold on Whitney. And if you want to watch Robin Crawford, type in the Ralda Michael Walton's his podcast. She had a book out about her and Whitney, so no. I don't be knowing about none about no love. I mean, sometimes yes, but a lot of these situations in Hollywood are put together. Conflicts of interest. So, well, if that's what but you do realize that's kind of a problem, just a little. They were really together, but the industry, but Puffy and them pushed her and Faith. Biggie and Lil Kim were really the real dealio. Yeah, there's truth to that. Yeah, they were volatile as crazy. She made 30 albums about him and her, so that should tell you all you need to know. She sure did. Still talks about him to this day. No, the drama's what made her have the kind of success she had. Because without it, that fueled the fire. Are we keeping it 100? Hmm. No. If you want to know the truth. Hmm. Drama be making them record sales. People like that conflict. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really pay it no mind. I'm gonna tell you why, because a lot of it's bought and paid for, and they know what they're getting into. And I'm a firm believer in that industry. You gotta have two different worlds to make that thing usually work. It's usually set up against you. A lot of suspect stuff being set up. So just saying, it ain't like what you think it is. It's they set up a lot of situations. You see, don't come on my site then. I'm not gonna be dealing with that mess today. If people coming here trolling, you got to go. I'm fully awake today. I'm very awake, but trolls are not allowed. Treat them like the road. 50-50 with the poll. Okay, good, good. A lot of them. A lot of them. Cause see, you know, when you get through with the money, no, she nice looking. Only problem with her is that she just didn't really have no real talent. That's all. She was decent what she did, but she was limited. She was a Southern Belle, and we couldn't really do too much with her. She had style, but it was limited. So she was a decent little woman. Hmm. But that's not why I had a problem with her. And she was okay in Harlem Nights, but she didn't do enough the totality of her career. And she sucked as a singer. But she was cool. I'm gonna tell you like this. She cool because she stood by Tupac. She was cool with Michael Jackson. She was cool with folk. You know, I'm fine with Ray Beauty. But after a while, a lot of the blondes are overrated. And a lot of them Hollywood chicks ain't the baddest. They used to have a standard. Used to be. Not no more though. But ain't none of most of it ain't nothing but tricks. That's what it is, like tricking out. So that's why I don't pay no mind. It used to be something distinctive. It ain't that way no more. It was a time it was. But them days came and went. Okay. Somebody's on, feel free, want to comment? Come on through. Okay. It's getting quiet now. Kamala. Common sense. Come on through. Common sense. Because see, the thing about it is you can't tell me you have two women in the last 10 years and they don't get a W. That makes no sense. It makes the country look like they limited against women. And it's backwards. It's very backwards. She should have won. She should have gotten the opportunity. Just like Hillary should have gotten an opportunity. You know. But I knew Trump was gonna get it because people love backwards. They love they have an agenda to be spiteful. And they love stuff that's evil. So that's what they like. And I don't mince words with what I say about that. All of them. She had the wrong vice president. He was lame and corny because he didn't have no edge to him. We're seeing the election was fixed. And, let me know when someone else has got 34 counts against them and they get to do what they want to do and they're black. Please wake me up when that happens. All of them suck. All of them. You don't use entertainers as a proxy for something serious. That just does not, because it's too predictable, too formula driven. you know. But the reality is celebrity and politics is one and the same. And they all fall in the same bag. And the triple thing about Trump is this: most of the people that are entertainers have had issues with him, dealt with him, except he played a good salesman for business and flipped his wig when he became a politician. Flipped his agenda with what he believed in too. So it's all acting. I'm not feeling none of them. So don't listen to them for any of that mess because it's just what they do. Mm-mm. People want that though. All right. Anybody on here feel like want to talk? Just say something. Got quiet here all of a sudden. Mm. Racism is serious. It never gets his attention, but yet it's everywhere. Everything you can think of that is serious does not get the attention it deserves. Homelessness, um, poverty, equality. There should not be anybody homeless in the so-called richest country in the world. And that alone, it doesn't get the attention. And black reality in America, the stress and the tension, all these conditions, all these symptoms, they don't talk about it. There's a lot to talk about. Depends on what your mood is. But it's all there. It's a lot that doesn't get talked about within the confines. Housing, conditions, celebrity, media about like the LeBron James, Stephen A. Smith garbage. And they push somebody's agenda and Sabrina Carpenter is getting too much attention. They just always got some agenda they pushing, which is to sway you off. It's not that deep. We need to be talking about the egg shortages and prices of living. So, of course, the Diddy case starts next month. So, mhm. Yeah, if he either talks and makes a plea deal, because I'm still a firm believer that they got stuff on him, but yet there's a lot of stuff that don't. There's a way that he still walks away with 100 mil, and that's gonna be a big chunk out when they get through with the courts and all that. But it's a good chance he still walks away with a pretty good payday, and a lot of that stuff going, this is the thing: right message, wrong messenger. Kanye is telling some facts about folks. Now, I just don't want the children involved, and I don't like, that aspect of it. But as far as what he says about how Jay-Z, Beyonce are ignoring Diddy and picking on Kim and all that stuff's true. He's telling truth. People just don't want to hear it because, yeah, he got his issues and he's got all that, but he ain't lying. He might be crazy, but he ain't lying. Because it's funny how everybody's acting like they don't know Diddy now, but yet they all are in rears to him. And they all know that he ain't no ringleader. They know this is bigger than that. It's just that it has to be sold as such, you know. So it's deeper than you think. And it involves a lot of who's who, a lot of political figures, probably someone in Washington right now, and others. You know. So, oh, he could have a shoot. If Diddy, you know, they want him out, he could be out tomorrow. They just don't want him out. There's money involved. This ain't got nothing to do with no justice. Just like R. Kelly. It's money involved. It's a move strategically. They know what's up. Believe me, they know. People be acting like, it's all about justice. I'm not, and listen, that's not to say that Diddy doesn't have stuff that's still stacked, but it ain't as deep, you know. I wish people would come on and say, hello, how are you? And have a conversation, not just to be making remarks and they don't talk. So, again, like I said, people aren't having conversations. I'm not dealing with trolls today. Okay, that's it. I'll give you something to look at. It's called Out the Door. Imagine if you spent a whole day with nothing but trolls. Numbers would be crazy. Okay. So we got parents, because I think that's the most important profession you can do is be a parent to children. Parenting takes a village to raise a child, like the African proverb. That's the profession that you need more of. That means that you will fundamentally teach and you can learn. People have to be willing. You need doctors, lawyers, obviously you know, ministers, you need that, but you need people that respect. It's a lost art. Yeah, it meant different things coming along, so it depends on what era you're in. I think you want to teach them that the law ain't gonna be so kind. So you black, deal with these cops, that can happen. So respect and obey, you know, and you get yourself in check. It's only abuse if you go to the extent with other objects and things that you do. But the intent is not though. The intent is to curb the wrong. It's how you look at it. Yeah. Different era, different times. I'm not saying everything was right back in the day, and I ain't saying everything was wrong. All depends on how you look at it. you know, you know. I come up in an era where belt switches and cords was normal. Nowadays, that gets you at least 2 to 3. So it all depends on how you look at it. Well, they need to have a reason to partake because, again, if you're not valued, you know, if they get gentrification and they move everything out, and then it gets whitewashed, and then it gets overpriced. People got to want to stay in the community. They don't get that option. Tupac Shakur once said something very profound. He said, "There are no $10 million high places in the hood because you're taught once you make a certain level, you're removed from that. You can never go back home, and they don't allow it." That's not to say there are not black successful sections in the country and places. However, what they do is that they purposely remove you away from that. It is a tactful move. So, see, they make a point of getting you up out of there. So it is a reality. Please hit up those likes. If you're on, please feel free to come through and connect. If you want to talk about something, let me know. All right. See what I got for us time. Okay. Let's see if anybody's on here. We gotta keep it going. We don't want to get quiet. Some days be like that though. Before you ask, I'll be back tomorrow, probably my usual time. Today is just a quickie. Yeah. I'm okay. Just trying to see if I saw something that came through. Let me know if you got anything on your mind. And anybody want to come through, feel free. Continue to hit the like, continue to take the poll. Yep. Okay. I think what I'll do, I'll give it a couple more minutes because if I don't see anything going, I'll cut it at 40. So I'll give about a couple more minutes. Mhm. Let's see. Just looking at that thing. Mhm. All right. Give it about another minute. We shall see. Thank you, Charlene, for coming through today. I had some trolls and some interest, and that's the thing about being on here. You open yourself up to a lot of unknown. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm so used to doing all the talking about stuff, so just hoping that we could be able to communicate. And some days more than others. Some days you get more people coming around, you get more vibe. So, and that's the truth. But here's the balance. Anyway, we did good. We got a few people in here today. It wasn't a lot going on, but got a few in. So I appreciate the ones that came through. Yeah. See what this thing says. Oh yeah, well, I grew up on the man. Um, I know what it was like firsthand with that. Know what he meant. They have no idea because they don't have anybody that stands out. That's why. I mean, I hate to say it, but all the best ones are either gone or maybe locked up. You don't have anybody that stands out. Not like that. Because he's up to no good. He had to see he could put Beyonce's Coachella show up against Michael Jackson. That is hilariously insulting. And it's a bad joke. Beyonce knows in her heart of hearts she ain't never made a record that's matching off the wall of Thriller. No, see the thing is this: there was a different standard back then. You had artists that were bringing out of each other. You had Michael and Prince, and you had a Stevie Wonder, and a Marvin Gaye, and Sly Stone, Jimi Hendrix, and Aretha Franklin's. You know, you have artists, Earth, Wind and Fire, P Funk, all that. Richie, Smokey Robinson. It's sure as heck not. When you have people talking about she got 35 Grammys, I'm like, well, where are all these classic songs at? And she's not a dominant. She's dominant live performer, and she's got crossover appeal. Excuse me, but she's not for the hype she gets. It ain't. It don't match. I think the young generation today don't really have the musicality because they've been built up on samplers and loops, no real record stores, and nothing to really see. And everything's kind of like been right in front of your eyes. And I can't really hold it against them because if I came around a generation where I didn't see what it was like, I would not know. No, she's not going to outperform Janet. She's a better singer. And I also will say this about her: she had a better setup to her career because she came with Destiny's Child and she went solo. Janet Jackson took a while to get it together. That's what she's got over her. But no, not as a performer. No, you know. So anyway, that's a little firepower about her. When I went to Jay Z, is because he's talking on his side of his neck, and people lie all the time. Well, she started as a kid, but she wanted to be in show business. She did do the variety show. She did do Different Strokes, Fame. She did TV, and she put out records. And she got inspired because she was holding his awards because she had that key in her ear and she had to open the door for him. but but she turned into a girl. She had a great run. I give her a due. No, weird. And she put out her record when Control hit. That's when she got inspired because then it wasn't a gimmick. Yeah, the parents don't teach them because they don't get taught. about what was going on. And when you got the push button and all of what they've been selling, they've watered it down. There's a whole era of ears who can't tell you what Lionel Richie was as an artist. They do it to black artists in particular, especially the bands, and it's done like that. You got some people now who don't even know who Prince is, so not gonna understand it. So yeah, anyway, it's changed drastically. Why do you think? Because she didn't really have that kind of drive as an artist. Talent is one thing, drives another. And I don't think that she really, plus she wouldn't do all the stuff. She did strange stuff, but she didn't get the pull, but she didn't have the songs and she didn't have that kind of, she could sing, but you got to have a certain thing about you that kind of stands out. And I don't think she really does. She's just a decent singer. That's one of the things was happening. And there's a lot of politics involved. You got to understand, entertainment industry is a lot. What's happening? I heard you first time. Hello. It's a lot of politics involved. A lot. It's more than just it's your imagery, it's your style, it's a lot of factors. Who is this? Someone saying my name and syllabus and things. Who is this? Okay, you said my name once and I gotta figure out who this is. Just say who you is. It's always been about appeal. Nothing new, Charlene. I can't play no games because I don't eat it. Elvis Presley was the dark hair. The Beatles was the dark hair. Little Richie, all it was about hair. It's always been about appeal. The difference is that they used to push artistry, you know. But okay, it's not in my lane for that one to know. It's really not because I don't partake in it, so I don't know. It's always been about appeal. I'll tell you like this, Charlene. Males had to have the appeal that the women wanted them and the men wanted to be like them. That's when you had it happening. And you know, uh, it's one of those things that it's nothing new in the industry. It's always been that way. They sold heartthrobs just like that when you go to the movies. All of it's based on the films. So movie stars, the leading man, leading female. Same thing with the music business. You know. So so that's what's the problem with that. Okay. 6% said they don't mess with people for that. Because he knew what he did. And what happened with Biggie and Biggie's mother. That's enough right there. That woman passed without any justice for her son. All that money being made could have avoided California a whole lot. Gene Deal can't tell you what he really know because he won't be able to talk if he do. If he starts talking about Clive Davis and them, believe me, that's where it's headed to. It all points back to who's the ones that's really behind Diddy. But Diddy was a pawn, and that's what happens when you're holding at people's money. You know, see, and the whole thing with Biggie could have been prevented. But I understand. So I don't know about all that. I don't know about that. But I'll say this: it either ain't gonna be as bad as it looks, or it's gonna be somewhere in between that can still be negotiated. But I don't think it's near as bad because I think there's too many other parties involved, and there's other things that won't come out. Deal, yeah. Charlene, you're asking me, so let me say the best thing that I usually end up saying to a lot of people in real time. Uh, Legally, they right because you gotta be able to put all that together. Morally, they're wrong. See, I'm not even in Hollywood or New York, but I heard stuff and I saw stuff that looked suspect. So if I saw stuff and felt stuff was suspect, common sense is suspect. But people are going to say you're a bodyguard or you a former dancer or you a washed up singer that never was. They're not going to take you serious because the money's too good. And when money's green, people look the other way. When money's green, people don't have a care. When money's green, they have no morals. They don't, and they don't hold everybody accountable. That's one of the reasons why Trump can flex because he got money on him. You got money on you, people suddenly act like you ain't done nothing wrong, even though you done something wrong. It works that way. But when Diddy went off about that outliquor company, that's what got his butt in trouble. He minded business and probably don't say nothing and go low key. They don't come after him. Now you got Clive Davis talking about who don't know who he is. So and they turn on you. I think when you're like a pariah or someone they measure. Well, they don't care about what you got to say if they make enough people tune you out. That's what Kanye's gonna find out. But the problem is they all pariahs. They all in on it. They all an accessory. You don't get the luxury, in my eyes, of you know, because you all an accessory. The industry is an accessory to an accessory because it's bought and paid for. They all know. I'm tell you right now, if you were playing R. Kelly's music 20 years ago and he had number one album, Traveling the Closet, all that album was big. Play it now. Why not? You didn't make tens of millions of dollars off of him. Oh, now you gonna act like you don't know him now. You can't. You got no use for it. It put a lot of the people through school, got them extra cozy places. They look the other way by choice. The thing with Diddy. So don't be playing it now like you don't know. Now you act like you don't know. Okay, that's fake, and that's what that business is. They don't want Prince's documentary to come out. They got a problem with it. They made money off of them. Still making money off of them. Never get the story right about Tupac or Biggie. Making money off of them. Still making money off of them. So Whitney Houston making money off of them. So Michael Prince, etc. All that. Luther Vandross, all that. Can't trust that. Anyway, we got 11 on the poll. 64% say no. Not bad. Not bad. I didn't think I was going to be able to have it like this. It's worked out good. Had a pretty good turnout today, too. Keep on smashing those likes. And there's another thing, too. Eventually, I'm going to have all these live streams that you don't catch live will be on the podcast. So if you miss them, they'll be coming to that podcast that I got. So with no doubts, no fear. If you don't catch it live, you can see it again. If I got, good questions, we have good commentary, I'll bring it back. And one day I got to do a phone call thing for people want to call and connect. So I tell you, Charlene, if you add me up on Facebook, if you know, find me up, you can find me up. And if you want to do a call and connect, we can set that up too. Eventually, that's what I'm going to do. Got some more plans, some stuff up my sleeve I want to do. Expand. Yeah. You can look at my name up on Facebook, add me, send me a friend request. I'm on, yeah, I'm on Facebook. I'm on, yeah, look me up, Max Muhammad. Look me up. I'm on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. I like Blue Sky. It's cool. So I link up. I do different places and things. So feel free. Yeah. That way also I can send you some news items. I got a lot of stuff I randomly send. Some stuff from YouTube and some stuff that, so just thinking, add all that up. We can do that. And I do mess with Riverside. They got like a live stream, so I might go ahead and do that too. So there's a lot of local hookups and stuff. So just throwing it out there for future days, future conversations, and future ways. So I do got to put some videos up. I'm getting ready to hit out. I got to do this church group thing tonight. So get together. I look forward to it. So good spiritual energy. I need it. Stuff be crazy in this world. So appreciate everybody that came through and even the trolls. Ha ha ha. Thanks for taking the poll question. And but we'll be back tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing everybody. And if people join up and everything, we can do more these and things, etc. extreme. So stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free, stay true. Appreciate you all. Appreciate you always, Charlene, for getting me through. And hit me up on that. We can do this. All right, I'm out. Peace.